Hi, my name is Jack Ospera, and I want to talk to you a little bit about shamanic healing. And what is a shamanic healing? What can you expect from a shamanic healing if you come to see me? How would you know if you need a shamanic healing? And lastly, where and when can you find me if you would like to have a shamanic healing performed? So, shamanic healing is a very ancient practice. Shamanism arose on every continent around the world, maybe 30 or 40,000 years ago, maybe 100,000 years ago. We're not exactly sure, but it's an ancient practice. And core shamanism is kind of that bit of shamanism that's shared amongst all shamans all over the world as best practice or common practice. And then each region or each part of the world has its own flavor of shamanism, which can be colored by culture and religion. But primarily I practice core shamanism, which is it's a bit more like being an architect or a designer or a mechanic of the spiritual world. I don't use religion per se. It's more of a spiritual practice. So that may make more sense as I talk further. So from a shamanic perspective, ailments, illness, dis-ease, all of those things begin in the spirit or at the spiritual level. The idea there is that everything that comes into being has to be a thought or a thought form first. It has to be an idea first. It has to be imagined by someone somewhere before it can manifest. And so the shaman works at that level of thought forms and energies, and that's where we seek out imbalances and perform our healing work. We do enlist the aid of helpful, benevolent spirits, and this is one of the marks of a shaman, one of the hallmarks of a shaman, that they have relationships or they know a variety of benevolent, helpful spirits, and are able to ask them to come and help with healings. I have many clients who report sensing or feeling extra energies, extra hands, if you will, on them or near them during the healing process. Not like a physical touch, but the awareness of extra healers in the room. So what can you expect from a shamanic healing? Well, when you come to me, either for healing or mentorship, we'll sit down and have a conversation so that I can just get a sense or a feel for where you're at and what's happening and how you're feeling about those things and what your thoughts are around those things, and maybe something about where the origins of those thoughts came from. As I sit and listen, I'll be making a plan for the healing session. So you don't need to know what services or modalities to ask for. You just need to be able to communicate what's happening that you don't want or that you would prefer not to be happening, and somewhat of an understanding of yourself. And then, and even if you don't understand, I have a way of listening that will help reveal a path forward for you. I may need to meditate briefly to ask my guides for assistance and guidance to get some direction as to exactly what to do and how to do that, because each healing is unique, each person is unique, each situation is totally different. So I don't have a template or a program exactly. I have a variety of methods and modalities that I will layer in different ways for all kinds of reasons. The modalities that I use, I do energy work in the form of Reiki, Tibetan Usui Reiki, Sekhem healing, which is an Egyptian form of energy healing. I use crystals and sound healing. I will do cord cuttings and cellular memory healing, past life journeys if necessary, soul part retrievals if necessary. I can also help you journey to meet your spirit guides, animal guides, or master guides. And I do use linguistic ontology. I will have videos describing in more detail all of these modalities. So rather than go into depth here, I will save those for other individual videos so that I can do those topics more justice. So how would someone know if they needed a shamanic healing or if they wanted a shamanic healing? I would say, firstly, if you feel out of balance in any way, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, if you feel like things aren't working the way that you would like them to be, or you have some kind of thoughts or feelings or symptoms that are upsetting to you, those are all possible reasons to come see a shaman, and know that a shamanic healing and an energy healing works in partnership with other forms of healing. So if you feel like you need to see a physician or a specialist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or any other types of professional Western healers, I always encourage that. I will never claim that a shamanic healing will completely cure you, but it does address a critical part of the healing process, which is healing at the soul level. I have seen people that for years and years and years, decades even, have gone to psychotherapy, and it just wasn't working, and it wasn't working, and it wasn't working, and 10, 15, 20 years went by, and then they came to me for a soul part retrieval, and what that is some kind of trauma earlier in life caused a piece of their soul to split off and become inaccessible to them. It's not really lost to them, but it's inaccessible. And so they're going to the psychotherapy, and the part of them that needs the therapy isn't there, isn't available, isn't receiving that therapy. So after the soul part retrieval, that part of them that needed that those therapy sessions came back, and in a very short amount of time they were able to conclude their therapy sessions and get back into life and get back to work and become productive, and just engaged in a more rewarding lifestyle. So I have seen that a number of times. I have also had individuals come to me for a spiritual healing that got them to a point where they felt like they could then go see another kind of doctor, but they had some kind of block that was preventing them from even getting to the doctor, and so I was able to clear that block, and then they were able to move forward on their healing path and go and see other professionals. So those are just a couple of ways that shamanic healing works hand in hand with other types of professional healers. So where and when can you find me? On Saturdays and Sundays, I am at Jai D Wellness in Osseo, Minnesota. And on Tuesdays, I will be at Midwest Witchery and Healing in Stillwater, Minnesota. And both of those locations, you need to make an appointment to see me. You can find my contact information on my website, www.jackospera.com, or you can contact Midwest Witchery and Healing through their website to make an appointment at that location. I do take appointments at other times, and I can do video call healings as well. So if you're not able to get to Minnesota or to Osseo or Stillwater, then we can do a video call, and I can do all the things that I do in person. Nearly I can do through video call, and I have done that. So I'm confident that it works. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with me to learn about shamanic healing, and watch for more videos on the Jack Ospera YouTube channel. Thank you, and be well.